So policy actions, there's 90 plus in total when it comes to this. Fast tracking regulatory revisions via OMB, OSTP, and removing onerous state federal barriers. Federal procurement rules requiring AI systems free of ideolo- ide- ideological bias, right? Promoting open source AI models and open access scientific data sets, infrastructure development, cheaper permits for chips and data centers. Those chips, fam, those chips. That's your Nvidias. That's your what's the other company? AMD. Um, those chips and processors that I constantly talk about. That's gonna help with the infrastructure of the metaverse as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's already helping with the infrastructure with the metaverse. Data centers. Would you say?
No, no, I was just agreeing.
Yeah. Modernizing the power grid, training electricians and HVACs technicians. Shout out to my HVACs. I see you, Zoe. Cybersecurity and critical infrastructure. Diplomacy, exporting full AI stacks, hardware, software models to allies, and enforcing stricter export control and investing in biosecurity countermeasures. There's some deep stuff, fam. Some deep stuff for
Yeah,
sure.
especially with the that ideological bias. Like it's a lot of talk going on about that because it's basically like training the AI. I don't know if everybody know, but like a week ago, uh Grok, which is uh X's AI, X formerly known as Twitter, it went off on a completely racist rant,
Mm,
and they had to, go in and dial it back in. But, that was because at one point Elon was saying it was too far one way, so he was recalibrating it. I don't know like why he was recalibrating it to Hitler, but either way, this is a big talk that's been going around, like how AI responds or thinks about questions of race and religion and things of that nature. So you're gonna start hearing a lot of that heat up in the next couple of months as well.
mm-hmm. Definitely gonna heat up. Data centers, so investable opportunities, investment vehicles, right? Data centers and semiconductor fabs benefit from streamlined permits and public funding. Industry giants like Nvidia and AMD already planning expansions. Those are like the two top chip makers out here. We was talking about Intel before. Intel, which used to be a powerhouse, they just fell way off the map. That's how you could tell. That's an example of like a company just getting too high on its high horse and not staying ahead of the trends. You know,
Mm-hmm.
just because they was in first place or in the top three, I don't mean they're gonna keep that spot forever. And Intel's been out for decades, fam.
Same percentage of winners and losers every time.
Every time. It's just crazy not putting Intel in the mix of this, the chip making race because they just
That
been
even
a player.
sounds wild.
What happened?
I said that sounds wild. That
Yeah, it
like
does.
we talking about a software, chip race, and it's almost like Microsoft and Intel are almost out the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Only thing keeping software Microsoft afloat is their software for real.
Yeah, I mean,
And
but
they got the name, but that could change any day. Like you always say about Apple, fam.
one day, man, listen, you think Nvidia don't got the technology to start writing software code?
That is true. That is true. That is true. That is true. And then you got energy grid modernization. Upgrades to AI loads create demands for utilities, energy storage, and grid tech companies. And then you got open source and AI tooling, and of course, funding and support for open weight models enable startups and software developments to innovate.
The
Dang, man.
reason why I put this in here for y'all, so y'all can have some understanding of how I start my research. Like, so when that AI, when the White House released that AI thing, and I read through it, I wanted to find, investable opportunities. So these are where I'm starting with, because these are going to benefit the most. Obviously, Nvidia and AMD are already companies that you can look to invest in, but I wanted to know, because I don't know every company or every startup. So I need to find and put together a list full of what I would be looking for in companies. What are the companies that have the data centers or the semiconductor fabs? Because we know the companies that's making the semiconductors, but there's companies that make pieces for them to assemble the semiconductors. Which companies are those? Are they public? Are they, on the market, or are they OTC? Because
Mm,
this is the time period you start to find real jewels. Like I've been saying for quite some time that there's going to be a point, there's going to be a nice stretch where the stock market, I believe, is just going to outpace the crypto market. And that's because like AI, we're likely to see the entire S&P flip in the next 10 years with just companies that's producing AI and crypto based assets. So use this as a guide to start your research and find companies that you can invest in, that is going to be for energy grids, that's going to be able to be in energy storage or grid tech companies. All of these things is a good start for companies to invest in, because now is the time you find those companies that it will make you a small fortune, and fast. Especially we knowing that this AI thing is going to be streamlined.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Nah, it's nah, it's it's gonna be amazing, amazing time. And somebody in the chat, I think a couple people in the chat mentioned Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle said the Giants is gonna fall. They're gonna crumble. Yeah, he did. I remember him saying something to that nature. He was a pioneer for sure. He was looking forward ahead. I remember looking at videos of him in Amsterdam talking about crypto back in, like, I think this was like 2016, 2017. So yeah, he was definitely a forward thinking type of individual.
No, that's facts.
Um yeah, and like you said, all these other investments like Nvidia, AMD, semiconductor fabs, uh ETFs focused on AI, infrastructure, clean energy, security tech, corporate bonds of chip makers and data center operators. Oh man, this private equity, venture backing for open source AI startups, green hybrid, multiple municipal bond funding, energy grid projects, XIM DFC backed deals for AI exports abroad. Whew,
It's always a place to find some money.
it's always a place, man. Happy hunting, guys. Happy hunting for that. And then you got Coinbase banking partnerships, PNC, PNC, which was just some days ago. Coinbase and PNC have launched their major partnership. PNC clients will now be able to buy, hold, and sell crypto directly with their bank interface using Coinbase's crypto as a service platform. PNC will also provide traditional banking services to Coinbase itself. Um, Coinbase partners with Cross River Bank to facilitate crypto transactions via API and banking as a service. infrastructure, a lot of partnerships. You got USAA, which is for the it's a USAA is for the veterans, right? USAA offers Coinbase Connect integration, allowing its members, which is military affiliated, for the veterans and families of veterans, to view and manage Coinbase wallets balances directly within the USAA app platforms. You got Ally Bank, which also integrated with Coinbase, enabling customers to buy crypto via Coinbase using Ally debit and credit cards. And there, this is different funds, different tokens and funds, and their BlackRock connection is it direct on base, and the exposure via the Spark DeFi. So you got different ones like Build, which is issued by BlackRock via Securitize. You got Spark, which is allocated Spark Capital to Build. You got Athena, which Donald Trump has heavily invested in. Because back in January, we told you that he invested in Athena heavily, Ethereum, and Chainlink. And that's a stable coin backed by Build via the Spark. Superstate, USTB, which is allocated from Spark, Build Capital, and Centrifuge, GTRSY, which is allocated from Spark and Build Capital as well. So
listen, Build is BlackRock, right? You can't buy none of Build because you gotta be accredited. I know you could, get Build on some of these other things, but you don't know if it's not Build. But Build is for accredited investors only, but you can get I'm attempting to get some exposure to Build via some of these others, right? Spark is something that's new, we'll talk about. But like I always say, for me, I'm following that triangle of USDC, Coinbase, and BlackRock. So, starting to find things that BlackRock is out here spending their money on. A lot of it is DeFi and CeFi. But yeah, man, listen, follow what BlackRock doing with Build, and definitely look into Spark.
absolutely. You got Spark. Spark aims to resolve three structural inefficiencies within DeFi. You got fragmented liquidity across protocols and chains, unpredictable yields from unstable interest rates, idle stablecoin capital not being actively deployed. Spark positions itself as a two-sided capital allocator, leveraging over $6.5 billion in reserves from the Sky protocol to channel liquidity across DeFi, CeFi, and real-world asset markets. Its goal is to provide transparent, composable savings and yield products to users while powering other protocols behind the scenes. So, not financial advice, but
You want
uh,
to look in you want to look in the Spark.
might want to look into Spark. Just might want to look into it. And then you got the three pillars of Spark, which is Spark Lend, a lending platform where users can borrow stable coins like USDS and DAI at fixed, transparent rates. Liquidity is sourced directly from Sky's stablecoin reserves, allowing deep capital access without disrupting interest rates. And then you got Spark Savings. Users deposit stablecoins, USDC, USDS, and DAI into vaults and receive yield-bearing tokens like SUSDC, SUSDS, which grow over time via Sky Savings Rate, SSR. These vaults offer stable, predictable returns on otherwise idle assets. And then you got SLL, Spark Liquidity Layer, is a cross-chain capital allocation engine that deploys liquidity automatically into optimized yield strategies such as Aave, Curve, Athena, and Build by BlackRock. Working on chains like Ethereum, Base, Arbitrum, Optimism, and Unichain. Seeks to improve yield consistency and capital efficiency across the networks. Listen, guys, man, this is some amazing information that we are privy to. Like all of this is what 99. I wouldn't even say 98. I would just say 99.9% of people are just not looking at none of this stuff. None of it. None of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, do your Googles, do your due diligence. Of course, seep into the 4 layers of crypto when it comes to a project, any project you come across. And you have your convictions, go from there. Of course, don't get into nothing just because we're just mentioning it. We're just showing you what we found. And then you got direct exposure. You got build on chains. BlackRock's build funds through Securitize and is live on Ethereum and has expanded to 5 additional chains, which is, Optimism, OP Mainnet, Arbitrum, Polygon, Avalanche, and Aptos. All those ones right there, all those ones right there are ones that most definitely were on that list. Because I remember back last October, we had went over the Mika list. All of those was on the Mika list, if I'm not mistaken, Coop. I'm pretty sure.
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure all of them was the only one I'm not
I don't know about
sure about.
Arbitrum,
Yeah, but
but the rest of them definitely were on that list.
yeah, that's a fact.
Avalanche, Aptos, Polygon, yep. Optimism, yep. Sparks Tokenization Grand Prix allocated 500 million to BlackRock's Build Fund. The initiative is part of a $1 billion program funding tokenized real world assets, RWAs, right? Spark has since expanded this to 2 billion, cementing its role as a major on-chain capital allocator. These allocations represent a direct connection on chain, right? On chain, where Spark and the underlying integrations facilitate institutional grade asset flows. Spark operates across multiple chains, including Base, compatible infrastructure, making its RWA strategy relevant to ecosystems like Ethereum and Base, right? And then you got USDC, which is a Circle issue, fully backed regulated stablecoin. It's the backbone of Base ecosystem, used in nearly all of Base's apps, protocols, and liquidity pools, with a market cap of 60 billion. Why it stands out? Strong legal, regulatory credibility, and a direct Circle tie-in. You got Spark, which is a liquidity engine powered by Sky that redistributes capital across DeFi and CeFi and manages massive USDC deployment on Base, over 95 million in total value locked. Deep integration with Coinbase and BlackRock backed products like Spark Lend and Spark Savings. Seamless Fi, which is Seam, a native-based lending and borrowing protocol governance token Seam with over 511 total value locked. Founders with ties to Coinbase, Uniswap, and Aave. And then you got Aerodrome, which is Arrow, the dominant DEX on Base, facilitating huge liquidity, large trading volume, and backed indirectly by Coinbase's ventures, one of the most critical DeFi primitives with predictable fee generation and user transaction. And then you got Chainlink, Wrapped ETH, Coinbase, Wrapped Bitcoin, CBBTC, And then those are oracles and bridges that bring liquidity and external data to base. Vital infrastructure tokens with large market caps and wide adoption across DeFi protocols. It's big, big.
Listen, don't sleep. Don't listen. D will tell y'all. I used to talk to him about stable coins, and I would always say, I don't get it. Like he would be explaining to me Tether, and I'd be like, yeah, I hear you, but I just don't get it. It's like now I get what you can like, because if you're holding USDC, if you have any money in a savings account, it's not go make you as much money as holding USDC somewhere. Savings accounts offer like 0.005, and you can get up to 4%. Like I get up to 4% on base, and I'm certain that there's other platforms that's giving you more than that 4%. Like, and that's just money sitting still. That's money sitting still making you money. We haven't gotten 4% from a bank in 10 blood moons. So, when it comes to like really understanding, I talk about like this time period that we are in crypto versus, the wild wild west time period that we've been in with crypto. It's like understanding the difference and being able to understand both sides. So whatever happens, happens, but you got to be dedicated to learning all of what's going on and not sticking to what you knew because you know it. Because
Right.
these things, D talk about DeFi more than I do. Um, the DeFi space and the CeFi space is just gonna be huge. So you would be doing yourself a disservice not to really just deep dive into it.
Right.
Always education.
And Google launches the virtual try-on and price alert tools. The new feature includes clothing virtual try-on, advanced price tracking by size, color, budget, and style inspirations, all within Google Shopping. These aim to reduce uncertainty and enhance conversion.
Yeah, Google, everybody is increasing their social commerce. Like the more me and D talk about it, the more you starting to see more and more companies come out and trying to get more involved with it. Everybody's not only, trying to get more online sales, they're trying to get on chain. On chain is the new internet. So they want to make certain that they are in AI and virtual reality, crypto as these bills start to pass, and they can get involved with more crypto and NFTs and things of that nature. But everybody's coming on chain, man. They're using the tools to do so.
Facts. Google launches virtual try-on and price alert tools. The new features
You just did
include
that.
you just yeah, my bad. Walmart's super agents rollout. Retail giant Walmart introduced AI agents such as Sparky for customers, employers, vendor operations, and developers. Part of its strategy to hit 50% online sales in 5 years. The move highlights the automation's jobs implications. Damn, AI agents gonna become more and more of a thing.
No AI. Listen, remember I told y'all Virtual's protocol. I mean, there's plenty other AI agent platforms out here for you to look into, but we've had this conversation. plenty of times of me saying look into, AI agent platforms, and I've definitely given y'all three or four that's on base, and they've been doing well. So
AI powered shopping bots for retailers. So retailers are bracing for shopping bots, which are AI agents that automatically compare prices and purchase products for consumers. To compete, they'll need to pivot towards personalization, data rich loyalty integrations, and physical experience.
no, that's listen, this is gonna be huge because companies are going to have to start figuring out how to grow ecosystems and not moats, because once people have their own private shopper shopping for them, because these bots are going to be able to do a lot of different things. And so, like, especially like what this is talking about, if you are shopping for something, that bot is going to be able to find everywhere it is online and only bring you back the cheapest price. And so, if people start shopping like that, it becomes a price war. And certain companies know they can't win a price war. So they have to win the loyalty war. And then that's just going to turn into more and more thing. I'm still waiting on Amazon to change their algorithm to more of a social commerce algorithm, because the way it's set up is poor right now for that. You want to go buy something, you got to scroll down 1,000 times before you get to a product review. And I know that can't be working out the best for them. So, that's coming. But yeah, these AI bots, like, these AI bots is going to change the way we do everything online, and learn how to build them, either learn how to build them or learn how to where the right investment is for them. Because like I said, man, these AI bots and these companies that's building them, like Virtual Protocols, is really seeing the benefits, and I don't think it's even started to see the full benefits of what they do yet, because these these AI bots aren't, like, they haven't been deployed on a massive scale like they will be.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy, man. Woo. And of course, we got Zora. Shout out to everybody that's been getting on Zora. Shout out to I don't know if he's on a call or not. He's not on the call today. Um, but yeah, shout out to y'all, for pulling up, man, because it's a lot of it's a lot of developments. I know it's a lot to keep up with, but at the same time, this is why we here. This is why we have these discussions, man. Like it's really some pioneering stuff going on right now. So you being first to the party or one of the first people to this before, these things start really taking off and exploding and becoming more of the norm in society, because damn, I know it's, for some of y'all it seemed like forever, but we got to realize when it comes to like the stock market, sometimes you don't see gains for like 10, 15 years, like crazy gains for 10, 15 years. But uh to be in this lane where stuff is accelerating at a higher clip and at a faster pace is is wild. Because the fact that you mentioned AI being a new crypto, I mean I see it, fam. The last several slides alone, I mean the whole every slide, but the last several slides alone was just like, man, that's everyday stuff, fam.
Mm-hmm. No, every day. It's gonna be integrated into everything we do.
Yep. Anybody got any questions?
Also with Zora, if you start your Zora account, make certain that you put your Zora information on the pin tab in the community so everybody can go and follow your Zora page. Eventually, it'll be, I think it'll all be integrated in base app. I'm not certain yet because I still haven't gotten my access. But either they're going to do it separately or they're just going to integrate everybody's Zora. I'll let everybody know. Or if you get access first, let me know.
Okay. Any questions? Any comments? Any questions about class we had last week, or the boot camp? I know some of you guys popped in for the boot camp for sure. You guys been writing your Trader's Creed. I wonder.
Wrote my trader screen today before I took a trade.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Seen the S&P kept bouncing off of all-time highs, looking like it didn't want to break it. I was waiting for it to break under the resistance and bounce off of it, and it did. Gave me a good position to open in on. So
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 weeks on it, but I'm not planning on holding it that long.
Mm, no questions? No comments? Guess not. Not today.
I got a comment.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Water is another option to look at investing in too because AI gonna use a lot of water. So
Water is always a good investment for any time period.
Yeah. Especially. I mean, that's a conversation for another time. But
yeah, a whole nother conversation.
For real.
if you know, you know.
Yeah.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So, but I mean, if there's no more questions or comments, hold on. Let me see what we got. What we got. Oh, you have a question? Go ahead.
You can unmute yourself.
Unmute yourself, or you could, or I don't know. Sometimes some people be out and about.
Yeah.
Hey.
Fair. Hi, hi everyone. It's me, Kiara. Hi. So I have been privy to I'm hearing that AI doubles like every about 3 months. So we're going to be going through that next phase soon. And so based on what you were saying, Coop, about building your own AI, when you are, say, like building an AI of your own, would that already be integrated, or would you have to write that code or to whatever degree so those updates already happen and it becomes self-learning, etc. on its own?
So I'm just gonna like tell you what I do. I use Chat GPT so much to where I'm just always on a platform, and when I'm not using it to do anything specific, I'm using it to learn how to code things just to see if the AI has gotten to the level that I can understand. And I just keep doing it. And it hasn't completely reached a level. It has reached a level where I can do it if I eliminate everything else that I'm doing and just lock in and do and just do it. But it hasn't reached a level that I can just prompt it to do things and it does it automatically. But we're getting very, very close to that. I just stay in the loop with the AI and I'm learning how to code more and more just by staying in the loop. But I'm still waiting on the part where I can say make this and it make it. And because Moore's law is completely bent, I wouldn't imagine that that's not going to take any longer than the rest of this year.
Mm.
So ideas over everything, like ideas over everything. It's not, we not gonna have to code it. We not gonna have to, do any of that. Now it's good to know a little bit of it. Like I said, I'm still learning it because I'm not gonna just wait for AI to make it to that space. I can always, learn things along the way. But I'm hoping before I figure out how to code it all on my own, with ChatGPT teaching me that um that there will be something. And I forget the name of the company, but there is a company that's working on it. They always talk about this particular company, and I'll find it and I'll put it in the community. But this particular company was speaking in a language that I can understand because they were talking about how many people was using Photoshop to do like graphic design, and they were saying like, there was like, 100 million graphic designers worldwide. And then they said Canva came out, and then all of a sudden, because Canva made things so easy to use, there all of a sudden was like 500 million graphic designers worldwide. And this company is doing the same thing for coding. They're saying like it's only X amount of coders worldwide, but they're creating a platform that people can code their ideas without all of the coding. And it's going to take us from a smaller number of graphic designer, of coders, to a large number of coders, because essentially the coding is going to be written into the platform. And as long as you got ideas to move around, it's going to really put it together for you.
Facts.
Thank
Mm.
you.
Oh, absolutely.
Incredible times, ladies and gentlemen. Incredible times. Can't even discount that. Never cease to amaze me.
And these new apps, listen, apps is going to be like the new content. Like people who make apps are going to like, because it's, you got to remember, creating apps was always not only a process to itself, getting that app listed anywhere was completely different processes. Like if you wanted it on Google, there was a process. If you wanted it, in the App Store, that was a different process. Then you had rules and regulations for both. Then you had the fees that came along with it. Now, like on a platform like Base, they have the tools for you to create mini apps, and you just deploy your apps directly from your profile, and everybody on the platform can use your app, and you get paid from the usage of your app. It didn't require it to go to no app stores. Like you don't have these different rule sets. You don't have like, it's like anybody with an idea that creates an app is going to be, you know, one of those new huge people on Web3 social media, which is really just social commerce. So it's like everybody should be everybody should be learning how to build. I mean, that's all we talk about is building intellectual property. There's never a reason not to learn a little bit more and a little bit more. I always tell y'all a drip or break a brick. Like if you learn a little bit every day, before the year is out, you will find yourself doing something you don't even know how you got there. You just know you got the knowledge to do it.
So we at build, build, build. Any more? Let me see. If we've got any more questions? Okay, I see Rita. She put her link in there for Zora. No more questions. Hopefully, she will see y'all on Sunday for session 2 of the 4-week boot camp for sure. Like we said before, bring your minds and bring your mind so you can shift it. That's all. But if there's no more questions, we're gonna see y'all next week. Well, we'll probably see some of y'all Sunday. Hopefully, we'll see some of y'all Sunday. All right.
Thank
Cool.
you,
You got
guys.
anything
Have a
else?
good evening.
No problem.
Appreciate y'all. Rita, do me a favor and put the link also in the community tab on the Zor pen tab. Everybody always, always remember to go check that and see if there's any new Zora members. Everybody that got a Zora account, remember to follow everybody else.
Mhm. Okay. All right, cool. Talk to y'all later. Peace.
Peace.